Hi folks, Jem here. Welcome to my creative space. And we're back for another day of Ceri Griffith's Jelly Postcard Play Challenge. Do you know what? I don't even know what day it is today. I have a feeling we might be up to day 18, but I will check that before I put a number on my card today. It's a beautiful sunny day, which is lovely given that we're in the middle of winter here in New Zealand, but it does mean I've got a big shadow across my desk, so I hope that's not going to bother you today. Now, I had a look through my postcard bases this morning that I'd made, and I just wasn't feeling it. I got no inspiration whatsoever. So then I went back to my other resources and I had a look through my stamps. And as I was looking through my stamps, I found this one, which has got lots of bees, and I don't know whether you can see that, hives and things like that. Do you know, I think this came with a magazine. I'm not sure, but anyway, I love it. It's one I use a lot. So I thought, okay. And then I looked at my embossing folders and I found this one, which now I don't know whether this is, I can never decide, is it barbed wire or is it honeycomb? I don't know, but I love it as a honeycomb. And so what I did with this morning, I embossed a piece of card and I used the card on my gel plate. I put a layer of yellow paint down onto my gel plate, popped this on top, used it to take some of the yellow paint off, and then once that was dry, I used a layer of gold to pull the print. And this is what I got. So I quite like that. I'm going to cut that into a 4x6 card in a minute. Before I do, I just want to talk about the paint I used this morning. This gold here, this is actually just a test pot of ordinary resin. Is one of the makes we have here, but just you know, acrylic paint that you would use in the house. We bought this for a project that we were doing, and I hate wasting stuff, so I've been experimenting with this in my mixed media work, and I love the effect it gives on the gel plate. Hopefully you can see that honeycomb has just got a little bit of sparkle coming through. Now, didn't pull the corners very well here, but that's okay, because what I've also done is, using my stamps, I've stamped black onto some card here, and as you can see, I've started with my watercolours, and I'm going to colour these bees and this beautiful sunflower, and then I'm going to cut those out and I'm going to do something with them on the card. So I'll finish watercolouring those. I'm going to cut that out and then we'll come back and put them together. Before we do that, I'll really quickly show you these watercolours that I bought. Now, I got these from Temu, actually. They weren't expensive. They were about $40. They come in an awesome little travel case. Oh, that one's come out. But what they don't have is any kind of swatch card with them. And one of my suggestions is, if you buy yourself a paint set like this, is that you create, particularly a big one like this, is that you create yourself a little swatch card. Now you'll see with this one I've numbered them down here and across the middle, and I've put my numbers down here as well. So that would it just gives me an idea. I can pull this out. I'm looking for a blue, and I want this blue, and I know it's H8. So I can follow my lines across, H8, and I know it's that one. Just a little tip, when you've got lots of colours, because they don't always look the same in here as they do on the paper. So there you go, piece of watercolour paper, test them out. And this set's quite cool. I don't know whether you can see that, but it's got all sparkly ones this side as well. So I'm having great fun playing with these at the moment. All right, so as I say, I'm going to finish my watercolouring. I'm going to cut this into a 4x6, and then I'll come back. Okay folks, so I've done those things, and I've fussy cut these out. Don't know whether you can see on here, but as I said, some of these paints are metallic, and so I've used the silver just to give the wings a little bit of a sheen. What I'm doing now, I've actually got a couple of extra there, but I have to say I've lost the will to do any more fussy cutting right now. And what I'm doing now is I'm just using, as an alternative to an ink pad, I'm just using my watercolour brush and a little bit of black, and I'm just touching in around the edges as you would do with an ink pad, just to cover those little white bits that personally I don't like to see. So while I'm doing this, one of the things I forgot to say earlier, and I'm really sorry about the shadows, they are really bad this afternoon on my desk, but one of the things I forgot to say was if you're stamping and then you want to use your watercolours, just check that your ink is a waterproof one. Not all of them are. Now I was using the Stays On today, which is, and I think some of the cheaper ones that I've got are maybe not waterproof, and if you try to watercolour with those, then you're just going to end up with a hot mess. So just double check that whichever stamp pad you use, it's a waterproof one if you're going to use your watercolours with it. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get down the side of here. We'll see. I may have to resort to a stamp pad for that one. But I thought I wanted to try this, to be honest, because if I'm away from home, I often have a watercolour set with me, but I don't always have an ink pad with me. So what I might have done is to stamp a whole load of images onto some card, A4 sheet of card with a whole load of images stamped on, take them with me, and then I can watercolour them whilst I'm away. I think I've said before, I'm an active relaxer. I struggle to sit and do nothing. I even struggle to sit and watch TV without doing something else at the same time. So for me, sitting watercolouring some images is a really good way of relaxing, and I can build up a sort of a stash then of images to use at a later date. So yeah, I thought I'd try this. As I said, don't always take an ink pad with me, but if you've got a watercolour set, then there you go, you can achieve the same thing. Oh yep, you can go down the side of there as well. Look at that. I love experimenting with different things and seeing what materials can do that they're not necessarily designed to do. But anyway, there we go. On Sunflower. I'm going to do the same around the bees. I won't make you sit and watch me do that. Okay, we're back folks. So I've edged all of those. I've added a little bit more colour to the bee's legs as well whilst I was doing it. This poor bee lost his front legs. Whoops. When I was fussy cutting today. So I'm going to pop those in the same as I would do the antennae on a butterfly once they're on the card, just with a Posca pen or an art pen. I'm using this because it gives less shadow. I'm really sorry. Right, we've got this little quote, have a beautiful day. So I've given that a little pop of colour, and I've added a bit more colour, a bit of a lighter green onto the stem of the sunflower. So I'm going to pull out the matte gel medium and have a play and come up with some kind of arrangement. Okay, I feel like it needs a little bit of something. And I went back to my stamps and I found this little honeycomb stamp. So I'm just going to use this and add a little bit of stamping on there. Just to add some detail. Oh, that's not good. So carefully, that may have had some matte gel medium on there. That's okay. To just make sure I don't hit that sunflower. Probably ought to protect my desk as well. I had a really big clean up this morning. You know, when you just kind of look at your desk and go, It's a bit like that this morning. Go. Helps if there's ink. All right. There we go. I don't want to overdo that. Just a little bit just in there, maybe. Okay. I quite like that. I am going to ink the edge of it, of course. I want to round the corners. Do you know what? I'm going to round the corners today. Just because I haven't done it for a while. And I think my corner rounder needs sharpening. Do you have that problem? Sometimes it just won't. There we go. Alright, let's find one of these. Good old wine cork. We'll ink the edges and I think we'll call that done for today. I rather like this. I have an infinity with bees. We live really rurally and lots and lots of flowers in the garden, but we also live in a big honey producing area. There are lots of beekeepers where we live, and so we have an abundance of bees in our garden, which is wonderful because they fertilise all the flowers on our fruit trees and our veggies. And you know, people often ask us and say, oh, don't you keep bees? And we say, no, we don't need to. There's enough other people in the area with beehives. And we're very lucky. We have a very generous neighbour who keeps us supplied with honey. Okay, there we go. Now that card isn't quite as thick as what I would sometimes use, but all my postcards are going to be backed when we've finished, so I'm not too worried. Now what haven't I done? We need a number, don't we? And I need to give that bee some legs, poor little thing, and some antennae. Now, do you know what? I think my Posca pen's a bit too thick. I am going to run and get my art. Okay, got the art pen. I've also found some little rub-on numbers here. I've had these for ages. Where do they come from? The scrapbookhouse.com. Alphabet and number rub-ons. So I thought I'd use those today. As I've mentioned before, one of my aims throughout this project is to use up some of the materials I've got. I've also checked the date, and it is the 18th. Well, this is the 18th card anyway. So we're going to put a number on and give that bee some little legs and antennae. And I'm really sorry my hand is going to be right in the way. There we go. Right, where am I going to put the number? Do you know what? There's a little hexagon there. I wonder if it will fit in. Just about. I'm hoping this will transfer onto the gel plate surface. Sorry, that might have been my head. Oh yeah, onto the, when I say gel plate, I mean the acrylic paint that came off the gel plate. Oops. Problem with rub-ons, if you're not really careful, you get the extra bits you didn't want. I think actually that is part of the stamp that I did. So I'm just going to repair that. There we go. Okay, folks. There's a card for day 18 of Jelly Postcard Play Challenge. And what I'm going to say, guys, is have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching.